Gran thinks he's been here for like 6 weeks or something, like a month in this world's calendar, but it's only actually been like a day or two, so the time is messing with Gran's sensibilities.
He's also canonically a beefcake?
Yeah, apparently. That's what they keep saying. I guess if you look at the token, let me pull that up. Look at him. He's a hunter. He hunts down creatures and he takes their furs and their meat for, human purposes. And he
strangles bears.
Yeah.
I see.
He's not the hero of this story. He was just an NPC that's been tagging along, but since you decided to come along and join us today, he's the character I'm going to go ahead and give you control over. What just happened, so far, there's a witch that tricked you guys into coming into this area. It's super dark and stormy and cloudy and windy above you guys, and you're kind of surrounded by mountains. This is kind of a swampy area. The witch told you guys that you have basically till the end of the day to figure out how to escape this place, or she's going to eat all three of you. And so you've been tagging along with Reyna Tinkerfoot, the gnome Artificer, and Harvey, the Aarakocra ranger. You guys went through some caves, and you encountered small, shadowy creatures that kept stealing your items, as well as a kind of a little hairy creature that said, "Oh, wait a second, that's what the witch told you she was gonna let you live if you managed to escape? Ha, she's just messing with you guys." And then he burrowed away. And right over here, to the left, is kind of a Stonehenge-like structure. It's tall standing stones with other large horizontal stones stacked across them with glowing letters in a language that none of you understand up and down the vertical stones. And you guys kind of interacted with it for a bit, trying to understand it. You couldn't figure it out. A satyr appeared playing his pipes and asking you guys for kind of knowledge or entertainment. You guys didn't really have anything, and so he told you that the letters on the standing stones were in Sylvan, and then he pranced away back into the deeper part of the woods. That's kind of where we are right here.
Okay, so I have a question. Does my character have some kind of personality at all?
I've just kind of been playing him as a bit of an absent-minded beefcake, I guess.
Okay.
He's kind of a ready-to-go hunter, but at the same time he realizes that these other two characters are quite a bit stronger than him. I mean, I've kind of just been playing him static since he was an NPC.
Okay, then. Okay.
But you can adapt him how you'd like.
Okay, thank you. So, you guys want to check this thing out? Or anything?
Sure.
I mean, I just don't want to keep standing here forever, Let's just continue.
I don't have access to... I don't think I speak Sylvan, but I do speak Common, Elvish, Gnome-ish, and Undercommon. Are any of those languages pretty similar or like historical offshoots of
Yeah, so you had
Sylvan?
you made a history check last session.
Okay.
Trying to understand the languages, and you did note that it was somewhat similar to Elvish, but while you studied it, it wasn't similar enough to really help you understand what any of the letters or symbols said. That is something that you tried last session.
Is it a repeating pattern, or is it like all different letters and symbols and stuff on each of the arches? Like, is there a way for like Reyna?
It looked like some of them repeated, sometimes on the same pillar, sometimes on different pillars.
Okay. Can I roll like an investigation check to kind of see like when the beginning and end of it would be, and then like copy that down and kind of like decipher it from there?
Yeah, you can make a quick investigation check. Oh, damn. You are able to note down the symbols, but they're just not making any sense to you, really. Even with your proficiency in Elvish and other languages, doesn't seem like any kind of linguist skills could come in handy here.
Okay, that's fine. Frustratedly, I'll return back to my comrades. Nope, can't make heads nor tails of it.
We weren't able to once. I don't know why we would be able to suddenly.
Well, perhaps we could take this in the future and perhaps find a book or something that would enlighten us. I say let's continue on.
Why are we investigating this in the first place? Do we know if this is of any importance at all for our journey?
Well, it's probably the only way out. Without killing the witch directly, which could be a very hard and tough fight.
I mean, I just see a bunch of rocks.
That's true. Well, I guess we both are in agreement to continue on.
I'll follow you guys. I don't think we can figure this out anytime soon.
Oh God!
What?
Oh, she's over. Well, you guys wouldn't see her. Reyna would actually move closer towards her.
Sure. As you move closer to the shadow of the hag standing in the tree line, you once again come around and see that it's just a twisted, knotted branch that took her shape. But you do hear a echoing in the trees.
God damn it.
And your intrepid group carries on.
She's been doing that all night, where she just Ashton Kutcher punks us.
And I believe, Flo, you and Harvey are both carrying a torch. At this point, however, it's been about 2 hours at least since the three of you entered through the mountainside into the grotto, and that means that both Harvey and Gran have burned through 2 torches. So, Harvey, if you could remove 4 torches from your inventory. You guys have had to relight them, especially going through the caves where it was basically pitch dark. While you're out here, you might see like a little bit of light in the distance through the tree line or coming from the clouds above. Definitely the sun is up on the other side of it, so just a little bit of light might be shining through, but otherwise it's pretty dark.
In the map, I just can see like a place with a bunch of things that I don't want to spell to not spoil anyone.
That's in the distance. You're on kind of you're on the far left side. That other thing, you guys can see that. That's a light in the distance. Kind of in between the trees in the distance. You can't quite make out what the creatures are, if there are any creatures, but you can see a campfire far in the distance.
All right.
Should we go there, ask for advice or anything?
We can, absolutely. I know the witch's house is kind of off down this way. It's not close enough for me to see. Yeah. It's just outside my 120 feet.
Certainly.
But we can definitely make our way towards the campfire and see what they have to say. Reyna will make her way towards the edge of the water and then just kind of see how deep it is.
Yeah, this water, similar to the water near the entrance of the grotto that you were in before, it only seems to range from about a few inches deep to a foot deep, and you can kind of see pretty easily the difference there. The water here is standing quite a bit more still than the water on the other side that was coming down out of the waterfall. Just in this area, it's a little more still.
Okay. We tested to see if the water was poisonous, didn't we?
Yeah, it's just a regular river.
Yeah, you tried a little bit of that, and then I think you mostly went over the water down the other side near the waterfall.
Okay. Yeah, I'd imagine if nothing looks different that we could probably just continue moving on the same way.
Sounds fine to me. I'm going to fly over the water, though. Don't want to get wet.
Yeah, Harvey can fly. Reyna is floating just above the water. Gran is the only one who's going to have to actually walk through it. And Gran, as you do move into the water, you note that it's incredibly cold water. Chilling. And so,
hey guys, that's cheating, you know.
Sorry.
And so you guys can note that the water is flowing this way, whereas the section you're in here is kind of still. On this marked side of it, the water is flowing the direction of that arrow, out there to the north.
Gotcha.
As Reyna and Harvey are floating, they don't quite make a lot of sound in the water, but Gran has to splush, splosh, splush, splosh through the water. And as he does this, it does make quite a bit of sound, to the point that... Can the three of you make perception checks?
Absolutely.
Your perception flow is going to be a +5, so roll a d20 +5.
Okay.
That's
Wait a second.
Oh my god.
A d20 +5. The first one, yeah. So 16 +5. Harvey, this counts as swamp, not forest, so you wouldn't have advantage on that. Sorry about that. Gran gets a 21, and what's yours, Reyna? That 17?
17 + 3 + 5 is 25 total.
Okay, so Harvey doesn't quite notice this. He's focusing on his flight and staying above the water. But Reyna, with your perceptive little gnomish eyes, and Gran, even though you're making those loud splashing sounds, you have your wizened hunter's senses. The two of you see straight ahead. The figures around the campfire appear to hear the loud splashing of Gran moving through the water, and they appear to mobilize. They start to move. If everyone could please make an initiative check.
What is my initiative?
You're going to get a +2, Flo.
Okay.
Initiative
That's 20.
12.
So, Harvey, you're going to be at the 12 in initiative, and you're going to go before Reyna, because you both got 12, and you have the better modifier, but you are going to... This first round is going to count as surprise for you, since with your perception you didn't notice that the creatures are moving. But then in the next round you're going to be before Reyna.
Okay, combat. I think I got this.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. What I'm worried about is Gran, because he's not quite a hero. He's just a civilian that you guys asked to tag along. And he's a beefcake, that's true, but...
So who's first?
First is going to be Gran, actually, right at the top there. So, Flo, you notice that the creatures are beginning to stir around the campfire, kind of in your direction. You have a longbow and you have a dagger. Your longbow has a range of 150 feet, so I think all three of them actually would be well within your range if you wanted to hit any of them, or if you wanted to try something else. You have an action and your movement.
Okay, I'd like to... What is my movement?
Your movement is going to be 30.
Okay, I'll try to move a bit, okay?
Yeah,
Into the current.
Yeah, you can move as far as you want within the 30 feet.
Okay.
I'm going to say moving that 30 feet isn't quite difficult. Even though the water is moving against you and it is quite cold, you're still able to move it fairly unperturbed. You make it right over to where you're standing there. Oh, but you know what? You would have to use... Your longbow takes 2 hands, and you have a torch in 1 hand.
Oh, so let's say I'm holding the dagger then.
Yeah, you can hold your dagger in your other hand.
Okay, I'm going to scream friend or foe into the direction. And that's the end of my turn, I think. Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, when you scream, that's going to be a free action. You scream, and the creatures kind of... You kind of hear weird, growling, shouting sounds coming from all 3 of them, it appears. Kind of almost incoherent and animalistic.
Is that just for Gran, or is that just language none of us would understand?
I would say both Gran and Reyna hear these sounds. If it is a language, it's one you don't understand.
Gotcha.
Gran, you still have your action.
So I want to attack whoever comes close to me in the first place. Okay.
Sure. Sounds good. So this first one... You guys are going to see one of them begin to... So he charges out of the light of the campfire. Reyna can still see him in the darkness. Gran and Harvey cannot. But you can all hear the clink, 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 clink of apparently what's ever on its feet until it makes it into the water. And then you guys can hear the heavy sound of movement in water. And then it's going to... continue charging right towards Gran out of the darkness. And Gran, you are going to get an attack with your dagger since you prepared that. So you can go ahead and roll a d20 plus 4. So, let me pull this up for you. This creature only appears to be about less than a meter, 2/3 of a meter tall, 2 feet tall. So it's waist deep in the water at this point. But its eyes are glowing red with bloodlust, and it has this terrible giant sickle in its hands, as well as these heavy metal boots on its feet. So it charges through the water at Gran. You take a swipe at it, but it's far too small and quick for you to connect with it. After you miss, it jumps up into the air and tries to land a kick with its iron boot. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, Gran. That's going to be a +2. So you try to swipe and hit this creature. It's kind of too small and quick to land your hit. It jumps up, and before you can react, it lands right on your chest with both of its heavy metal boots, and it is going to just launch itself off your chest. Let me see here. This is going to be pretty rough.
He is how many centimeters tall? 2/4 of a meter, right?
It's about 2 feet, yeah, 2/3 of a meter.
Okay.
Excuse me.
That's rough.
Oh, pain.
So he jumps up onto your chest, and it's like being hit in the chest by a cannonball. It probably breaks a few bones as he jumps and slams his metal boots into your chest, knocks you over down into the water. Sorry. You lose.
He just one-shotted me, okay.
Yeah. You lose. He breaks several of your ribs as you let out probably some kind of painful shout, and you fall back under the water, of course, prone. So he launches off your chest and lands back down in the water and lets out a little bloodthirsty growl.
How tall is the little guy compared to the water?
It's at his waist.
Okay. Well, shit.
Yeah, he splashes back into the water.
Well, Flo, it was really nice to play with you.
Gosh.
Maybe next time.
Gosh.
It'll last a little longer. Fuck, I don't know. Damn.
I died for the most ridiculous enemy I just ever fought in my life.
You're not dead yet, you're just unconscious at this point, but you are heavily damaged. Following that, it is going to be Harvey's turn. Of course, if you were playing a full character flow, you'd be a little bit more matched, but this was just the NPC tagging along. Sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
Okay.
Well, damn, okay, I guess my first reaction is going to be to go and try to grab Gran and bring him back towards me and Reyna.
Sure. You can fly right over to where he is.
And then would that be a strength check to see if I could drag him back?
Yeah, make a quick athletics check to grab him out of the water and pull him away. Alright, so from where he is, he's in the water, and as your hands plunge into the water for the first time, you really get a feel for how chilling, freezing this water is. And so it makes you hesitate, but then in addition to that, the current is working against your strength, and Gran is about a foot underneath the water. And while you try to grab and tug on his biceps, you're not quite able to get a good grip on him.
Gran, your arms are too big.
Yeah.
You stupid beefcake. You stupid, beautiful beefcake.
You still have movement speed because you have 50 feet of flying. So you flew 30 feet in. You used your action to try and pull him up out of the water in that same 6 seconds that you're flying, but you weren't quite able to get a good grip. That's going to count as your use an object as your action, and you can have 20 feet of flight further if you would like.
Okay, I'm going to fly more towards the trees down below me.
Sure. You can fly straight up into the branches if you would like. And you can actually see right over here is kind of the back of the witch's hut. In your torchlight, you can make that out. As you do that as well, there appears to be a visage of the witch standing below one of the crooked trees here. It almost seems like just a shadow, but it's unmistakably the same visage of her. Following that, it is going to be Reyna's turn.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to take a look, because I had my plan in mind, but then Gran went down like a sack of potatoes. So Reyna is going to move right here.
Very good.
She's going to send her little bird. It does have a fly of 30 feet, so it probably does not get that far.
I see, even if it dashed.
It is going to make its way over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To kind of give us some visibility.
Yeah.
That
works where it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my Force Ballista to hit the...
You used your flamethrower last, right? You used that against...
Oh, you're right. In that case, it's gonna make a dexterity saving throw.
Here we go. It has to beat your...
Spell save DC is 15.
So you fly over, you turn your chair around to face it, and it's like... kind of growls at you a little bit, but you open up a little panel on the side of your chair. It sticks out your flamethrower cannon, and it unleashes a cone of flame at this creature that it is not able to dodge. What's the damage on that?
It does work in a cone, but I assume that because Gran's underneath the water, he's not going to be affected by it. Okay.
Yeah, he's fine. How much damage is it?
5.
So you unleash that cone of flame, which engulfs kind of just the top half of this creature, since half of it is submerged. But you do unleash that flame on it, and it takes 5 points of damage.
I don't really have anything else I could do this turn. So that'll be it.
So from over at that same campfire, another one of them is going to charge away from the fire, and you're going to hear the heavy clang, 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 clang of its boots against the dirt. And is going to charge out towards Reyna, but it only makes it so far in the water. And it's growling.
Would
The
my
other one,
homunculus servant get an attack of opportunity?
yes, it would. You can go ahead and roll for that.
Perfect. It's just got a force strike. 1d4 plus 4. So let's see if it hits. 12.
It tries to stab at it with its little hummingbird beak, but the creature is kind of too low and submerged in the water for your homunculus to get a good strike on it. It does manage to dodge just below it.
Dang.
And the other one is going to do just the same. Clang, 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 clang. So they all run up, and it would have been Gran's turn. If you could just roll a quick d20, Flo.
It's a death saving throw, right?
Indeed. Poor Gran.
Okay, let's see.
He's just a poor...
Oh, God.
That's a failure.
No problem, no problem.
At least it's not a
Reyna.
critical fail.
Yeah, Reyna. You see some bubbles come up from under the water.
My boy.
Following that, it's going to be this one right next to you, Reyna.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to attack with its sickle. From where it's standing, it jumps up out of the water and takes a few wild strikes at you.
Oh, no. The 10 for sure misses. The 22 hits. The 7 does not.
Yeah, so what happens here, it misses with the first one, it hits with the second one, and then it misses with the third one, falling kind of face down into the water, into a part that's even deeper than it is tall, so it's completely submerged for a moment.
Gotcha.
But it does hit with that one strike. It's going to go ahead and deal 8 points of damage.
Okay. Not great.
Yeah. Following that, it will be Harvey's turn.
Okay, so the first thing I want to do is draw my longbow, but I have a
Sure.
quick question.
What's up?
Since I have bird feet, can I hold my torch in my foot while I take my shot?
Like a talon foot. I don't know if it's like an opposable or if it's...
I can 100% guarantee it can hold on to a branch.
That's true. Yeah, so I'll say you can either hold it in your talon or you can set it up in the tree. Your choice.
I think I'll set it up in the tree instead. Didn't think of that.
Sure. So you set up your torch here in the tree. You kind of set it up between the branches, and you're able to pull out your longbow.
All right, and I still have an attack, right?
Yeah, you can use your attack.
Okay, well, I want to draw and take aim at this guy right here.
Oh, certainly. You can go ahead and roll for your first attack. Wow. Critical
Holy
hit.
shit.
And is this thing a goblinoid or anything?
Unfortunately, it isn't, but it is a Fey.
Ooh, that works too.
What do you get from that?
Let me see real quick. Oh, I just know about them, that's it.
Okay, no problem. You could, since they are in range now, since you can't see them, you can go ahead and make a nature check. Okay, you're pretty sure you know what these things are. They're a type of creature called Redcaps. Although you don't know much else besides that, and that they're typically pretty bloodthirsty creatures. But you do get a motherfucking critical hit. You roll a 12 for damage, and then you get another 8 on top of that, so you deal 20 points of damage to that one right there.
Jesus.
Yeah, the arrow flies down and hits into like its cheek.
Oh my god.
It stabs into its cheek and pierces through, and a little spurt of blood comes out of its face. It's like, ah! It emits quite angrily, and that is just your first attack. You can go ahead and make your second one.
On the same guy.
Nice, yeah. You shoot another arrow down. This time, it pierces into his chest for 8 more points of damage.
But is it dead, though?
Not quite. It does glare up at you, angrily. Arrgh! And you can see its little head shaking in rage.
I want to shake my wings at it.
You flap your wings at it, kind of tauntingly, or...
Yeah, like an angry taunt.
Nice. Yeah, its attention is on you now. Following that, it will be Reyna's turn.
Okay. So, what I would like to do is the flamethrower thing again. So, the one in front of me, if it could make another dexterity saving throw.
What's the range on your flamethrower?
It's a 15-foot cone, I believe.
Ooh. Go ahead and roll for damage. Oh, wait,
Hell
it was
yeah.
submerged. So it was submerged, so I'm going to say what happens is it comes up from being submerged, Its head pops out of the water, and its face is right in front of your flamethrower. Huh?
Nice.
Right as you ignite it.
For 6 damage.
Nice. Yeah, you shoot another cone of flame point blank at this one who pops up out of the water. I'm going to say it takes another 2 points of damage because of those 2 consecutive critical fails. Actually, another 4 points of damage. So it takes 10 more points of damage from this point blank shot of flamethrower.
Ooh. And then, so my homunculus can do a spell that has a range of touch.
Yeah, it can deliver your touch spells.
Okay.
However, it has to be a spell that you cast and you used your action. No, wait, you fire your cannon as a bonus action, right?
Yep, on each of your turns, you can take a bonus action to cause the cannon to activate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can you send me that?
Holy
again?
god.
So you use that as a bonus action. It's pretty great.
Well, if that's the case, then I am going to go ahead and also cast Shatter right here.
If you are casting it on that particular Redcap, wait, what's the point you're casting it on? Right on top of him?
Yep.
I'm going to say it hits that Redcap and the other one next to it, but it's going to hit your homunculus as well.
That's fine.
A creature made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on this saving throw.
Okay. That's fine.
That's rough.
Sure. So yeah, Shatter, Constitution saving throw for each of them is 15.
Nice.
So my homunculus will roll that and take the lower. So yeah, it definitely takes the damage for that one. And then it's 3d8 damage. Well, my homunculus is dead, but are they? It takes all 22 points of damage, and then the red caps have to beat 15.
Oh, so this one is going to fail, and then this one is going to succeed. Your homunculus basically disintegrates in the air. It's flittering its little homunculus hummingbird wings, and it just disintegrates from the shatter. This Redcap here, you said it's going to take 22 points of damage?
Mm-hmm.
The ringing shatter sound, it's going to cause him to arch in pain. You're going to see his eardrums burst. Blood shoots out of both of his ears. He holds his sickle up as he arches. The entire sickle kind of disintegrates the same way that your homunculus did. He arches back as his sickle disintegrates, and then he falls backwards into the water, completely submerged and dead.
Whoop.
The other one takes half damage, so it's only going to take 11 points of damage. It kind of covers its ears and shakes its head with its sickle still in its hand. It doesn't quite take as much damage, but it is still painful for it. Your homunculus's sacrifice is not in vain.
Not in vain at all. It is still painful.
Indeed. And I suppose you still technically have your movement if you would like.
No, I'm okay where I'm at.
Sure. Following that, this other Redcap, this isn't the one that Harvey had targeted, so it's still, except for the shatter damage, at a decent amount of health. And its attention is still on Reyna, so it is going to run up right beside you, and is going to launch up out of the water, and it's going to try and hit you with its boots. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Come on, baby. Ooh, I have a +2 to that.
Nice.
God damn it.
So it jumps up out of the water kind of unexpectedly, and you try to dodge, but it does connect with you. Its boots land on your chest, and it unleashes a launching push against you that actually knocks you out of your little hovering chair and into the water, as well as you take 18 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oof.
As you fall prone into the water, your little hovering chair is still nearby. You would just have to use your action or a few feet of movement to stand up from being prone. So you are prone for a moment after that creature has moved. Following that, it is going to come back to Grand's turn. If you could make another death saving throw, Flo.
It's quite funny, honestly. I got one shot by a gnome. Okay then, the second one, wish me luck.
We're getting our shit kicked in by Keebler elves.
That's rough. Yeah, God, the Keebler elves. I mean, you guys are doing fucking great, though. Honestly. Considering how powerful these things are supposed to be, you're actually kicking a lot of ass here. So, Grand fails his second death saving throw. You guys see some more bubbles coming up from where he's laying in the water. Following that... This one standing next to you, because you are prone, it is going to get an advantage on all 3 of its sickle attacks. This is the one that you've been burning up.
I would take my revenge too.
And so I do believe it gets a 21, a 23, and a 23. And so I'm just going to roll all the damage dice together so that it's all added up. It's going to be 25 points of damage as 3
Goddamn.
slashing sickle strikes come down through the water and cut through your gnomish skin. You can see your blood very much mixing with the water. Harvey, you can definitely see the water darkening around where Reyna is underwater following these strikes.
No pressure. Goddamn.
Following
Harvey,
that,
no pressure. But I'm gonna need you to go sicko mode.
it will be Harvey's turn.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna take aim at the burned one.
Don't you have Hunter's Mark?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to use that? It will take a spell slot, but...
Yeah, I'll use that guy right there.
Sure, he is. Hunter's Marked. And then you want to go ahead and unleash a longbow attack against him? Or what are you doing? Very good. Yep, you hit with a 27, and you deal 8 points of damage, plus an extra 1d6. So you can roll that 1d6. You're getting some great damage rolls. So you deal 12 more points of damage to this creature. Flies down and hits him in the shoulder, and he lets out another... "Rah!" But he isn't quite down yet.
Alright, second shot coming his way.
A 20 definitely hits. You deal 5 points of damage with your standard roll, and you can roll another d6. Nice, so you deal 11 more points of damage to this creature. He is still standing. This one flies down, it goes through the water, and it pierces into his thigh, and you can see a little bit of blood coming out into the water around him. Following that, it will be Reyna's turn.
Okay.
So you can use 5 feet of movement to stand up from being prone.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be for you climbing back onto your hovering chair. Would you like to do so now?
Yes, sir.
You get back up onto your chair above the water.
I'd like to move to this position.
That would be out of this one's range, so that would
Combat.
provoke an attack of opportunity. But from where you're standing, you are going to be able to hit both of them with your flamethrower.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do with one of them. Let's do that one first. I want to see if I need to go all out. So 2 more dexterity saves, please.
Very good. And they're both going to fail.
Oh, by the same number, too.
Nice.
10 damage to
So-
both, please.
Since this one was facing up towards the assailant that just attacked him, he didn't see you pop out of the water, hop back on your chair, and activate your flamethrower. He just barely turns his head around to see the barrel facing right up against his face once again as it unleashes that burst of flame. It engulfs him on every side, and this time when the flame clears, you can see that his face has just been melted down, his hat is on fire, and he falls backwards into the water, dead. The other one takes 10 more points of damage.
All right. Well, since he's still kicking, let's go ahead and try and stop that. I'm going to go ahead and use Thorn Whip and range spell attack. So it's a d20 plus 7, 14.
Hit with that?
Perfect. Then he is going to take 1d6 piercing.
Yeah, you can roll for that damage. You deal 5 more points of damage to him. And then would you like to move?
Nope. Well, actually, yeah. I'm going to move over there.
Just the 10 feet? And that will provoke the attack of opportunity, but it'll just be 1 strike.
Sounds good.
And it does miss.
Whew.
So you hover over Gran away, and you do have 20 more feet you could go if you'd like.
I will go this way.
Sure. You could just move like that if you'd like.
Oh, sure.
So you move 30 feet away from the creature as it slashes at you, and it misses. It's going to run over to the birdman it sees in the tree, and it's going to go ahead and try to climb the tree. Oh yeah, and it's great at that. So in just like a moment, in just a few moments, it like hacks its scythe into the side of the tree, and it brings its boots up, grabs another branch, hacks into the side again. It pretty quickly scales until it's up on the same plane as you, and it's going to go ahead and make a single strike with its scythe. It is going to hit with that. You're going to take 12 points of damage, Harvey. It slashes broadly at your wing and sends a few of your feathers floating down. Following that, if we could get another death saving throw from Gran.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, it's a moment of truth. Let's see, guys.
No, Flo.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
no problem.
so it seems that he's dead.
Something might happen.
Okay.
I was going to tell you to let me blow Setsi on it.
Well, it happens.
Poor Gran. He was just a hunter from a hunting family. Although, gosh.
I got a one shot by a goddamn gnome
Yeah.
with steel boots.
That's pretty brutal. With iron boots. Not even like nice refined steel, just fucking heavy, gross, clunky iron boots. Following that, it will be Harvey's turn.
We let the beefcake die, Brandon.
That is not the plan to begin with.
Yeah, you guys see the bubbles stop where Gran was submerged.
Well, we gotta get him out of the water after this.
Do we? Like,
What, you just want to let him be a Two Towers corpse?
Two Towers corpse.
Like from Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, where all the bodies are in the water?
Oh, okay. I didn't get the reference for a minute. Yeah, no, we should definitely get him out of the water.
Okay, so first I'm gonna hop over to the tree behind the little red cap.
Short, you fly over above the visage of the witch who watches you as you do fly over. And she's staring up at you, and it's a little unsettling. And you do provoke an attack of opportunity from the Redcap as you fly away from it. Standing there on the branch, it swipes at you, and your AC is 15, so it is going to connect with that. As you take 10 more points of damage from that slash. You fly over above the hag, and she's like, but you do land in that tree away from the Redcap.
Okay, well once I land, I want to immediately fire my first shot at said red cap.
Very good. Go ahead and roll for that. And this isn't the one that you had Hunter's Mark on?
No, it's not.
You can move it to him as a bonus action, yeah?
Oh, you can use your bonus action to move it to a new creature. What a great spell.
Right? Well, now I guess I'll do that.
Who says rangers are defunct? So, with your bonus action before you move to that creature, you fly right past it into that next tree, and you take a shot at it. However, that shot does go wide, far away into the darkness of the swamp, missing him.
Well, that's why I have multiple arrows. The second shot coming his way.
Very good. Yep, you shoot at him that time, hitting successfully. Go ahead and roll your d6. So you deal 11 more points of damage to that Redcap. He is still standing. This arrow flies and hits him in his shin, right above the heavy metal boot on his foot.
Let's see you climb a tree again now.
Following that, it will be Reina's turn.
All right. How's he looking?
Who? Gran? Gran is dead.
No, the red cap. On a scale of 1 to Gran, where's he at?
God. But he has a few arrows sticking out of him in a few different places.
Okay. I'm going to move over here, and I will go ahead and, for my main action, I'm going to go ahead and do Ray of Frost.
Nice.
Because that's free real estate in terms of a cantrip. So that's going to be another d20 plus 7.
You shoot a ray of frost up through the air at the Redcap. He turns just in time to see it hitting him in the neck and chest area. Go ahead and roll for damage. You deal 6 points of damage. And he clutches his now freezing chest. So, that ray shoots up, hits him in the neck and chest area. He clutches at it. And as he kind of does, the ice spreads out across his shoulders, up his head. You can see the blood vessels in his head, and eyes pop as he drops off sideways off the branch, hits the ground, and his kind of head and neck shatters into ice shards as he smacks against the ground there. Dead.
Dead as fuck.
Woo!
We barely did it. I'm going to run to Gran and see if there's anything we can do. We're out of combat, right?
Yeah, combat has ended.
I want to see if there's anything we can do.
And while he's doing that, can I loot these bodies for my arrows?
Yes, you can. You used up 6 arrows during the course of that fight, and you hit with 5 of those shots, so you're able to retrieve 5 of them pretty easily. It might take some extra searching to get the 6th one back, since it flew off into the fuck-all where of the swamp. But you're investigating Gran. Go ahead and make a medicine check. You pull him up out of the water.
All right. I have a +0 to med, so that's just going to be a straight d20.
You know that there's magic in the multiverse that may be able to bring him back, but from just the regular physiology, biology, he seems cold and dead, drowned.
Okay.
Gran.
I got this for y'all. This is definitely out of character, but it's going to show up as Reyna. Yeah, she's pretty sad, so she's going to turn over to Harvey and like shake her head like there's nothing more that really can be done. And she'll start dragging his body over towards the campfire. Do you need me to roll a strength check or anything for that?
Now that you're out of combat, it's going to be pretty easy to at least take a 10, so it's not going to be too difficult to drag him over.
Yep.
But you're able to pull him up next to the campfire.
I'm not one for words, but he was our companion.
It's okay. It happens. It's all fine. It was quite funny, honestly.
Oh yeah. No, it was hilarious.
Yes,
I meant in game. Harvey, should we say something or bury him, or what do you think would be best in this situation?
Unfortunately, I don't think we have time to bury him, but there is kind of a blazing fire right at his feet.
Right. Well, I say we should utilize any equipment that we can from him.
Yeah, okay.
And say some words, and then we'll send his body to. Oh God!
Oh,
What are these things?
Little glowing figures fly out of the forest, out of the trees. Much smaller, they're flying, they're floating in the air, and they shimmer, kind of leaving a little speckling trail of light dust behind them. Harvey, you can go ahead and make a nature check.
Are we in a forested area now, or is this still the swamp?
This is still the swamp, but with that 15, you do readily recognize these as pixies. Some of the more good-hearted fae of the Feywilds, although perhaps a bit mischievous.
So we could have kept Gran with us if we had a necromancer.
You know,
Gosh.
There's more than one way to raise a family.
It's just late healing.
We made him come all this way, just make him go a little further.
Well, these pixies fly out, and they do kind of a little dance around Gran, sprinkling fairy dust. Kind of, they seem to be paying respects to him somehow. They do their little dance. One flies down and lands on him, and she kind of drops her head into her hands, and she's like...
Very
and
sad.
then, yeah, after a moment, two of them just fly away back into the deep of the wood, not to be seen. The final one hovers around, and she speaks up, this time in the common tongue. She says,
"Thank you for defeating the Redcaps. They are terrible, bloodthirsty monsters that have been terrorizing us on the hag's behalf for a long time. You are all very brave. Come and visit us in our village. We may be able to help you."
Where's your village located?
and she proceeds to fly away into the darkness of the swamp.
No time to waste, Harvey. Come on. And I follow her.
I follow behind, quickly saying sorry to Gran.
Oh shit! Let's just heave-ho his body onto the fire and then.
Gosh,
Viking funeral, Gran, it's honorable.
it's not quite a Viking funeral. It's like a
Shoot him with an arrow.
goddamn.
just like point blank on the ground.
You shatter. You shatter on him real quick, just so it's a quick disposal. It's brutal.
I'm following the fairy as quick as I can.
Short. You can make her out in the darkness there, right?
Yeah, I can. Stay close.
You follow the pixie. Since this is the forest, you would get your favorite terrain with it. So your second check is going to be that 22. You are able to kind of hover around the trees for a few moments, and you're able to find, because this is the Feywilds, you're able to find a couple magical herbs that should heal both of you for 1d6 each. So you can both go ahead and roll a 1d6. So you get 4 hit points back, Harvey. And Randy, you can roll that as well.
Hell yeah.
You're just able to mulch those up, and you're able to rub them into your wounds. So you both regain those 4 hit points. So those couple magical herbs Harvey was able to locate real quick here in the Feywilds.
Thank you.
It helps.
Amen. Amen.
The pixie, she didn't really wait so much for you. She carried on ahead.
Reyna, did you happen to see which way she went?
I think she darted through the trees. Because I cannot see her, but I'm assuming this is really the only way to keep going.
Since she's a fae, can I track her?
Yes, you can. Make a quick investigation or survival check with advantage. Yeah, nice. So, you're able to follow the faint glimmering trail she left behind, and you quickly come into this large opening here with kind of dancing lights, purple and green, kind of floating in the air, filling the area and glowing just slightly. And you should recognize this, Harvey, as a possible pixie habitat here. Although as you approach with your lit torch, the lights seem to recede and fade away.
I would see this too, yeah?
Yeah, you can see the lights fairly well with your dark vision, but as Harvey approaches with his torch, it kind of causes the lights to recede a bit, the dancing lights.
I don't want to intrude on the fairies, so reluctantly I'm going to put out my torch for now.
Very good.
I get a little bit closer to Harvey and I hold out my hand to kind of help guide him.
Well, he can see decently well here.
Huh.
Now that you've put out your torch, you notice that there is kind of a significant amount of light coming from these hovering motes of purple and green that fill the air. And after a few moments, you do see various pixies poke their heads out from different points, out of the logs, out of the top of the toadstools, the moss, and the trees, kind of around you at different points. And they are faintly glowing as well. And while you are still doing that, you hear another familiar tip, 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 tip.
Oh no.
Running right past you from where you came. It shoots through the lights, which kind of reverberate around it and float away as it flies through the area with incredible speed. And right out of sight again just as quickly.
Well, I'd like to make my way here, but slowly and cautiously. I don't want to startle the pixies.
Yeah, they're kind of sitting out at various points in this little grove. Some of them definitely watched the quickling fly by curiously, but most of them seem to be pretty relaxed here.
Was that quickling marathon?
It was not, from what you could tell. It seemed a bit more like a red blur instead of a blue blur.
Okay, well, seeing as Reyna's guiding me too, I'll slowly follow where she's headed, as carefully as she is.
Step deeper into the middle of the lights, of the purple lights, and you can see the various little pixies standing on the logs, sitting on the toadstools, and they're kind of watching you curiously.
Hello.
Hello.
And she waves.
Hello, 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 hello.
Who was the one who showed us here? Do I recognize that one or?
They're all kind of small and difficult to distinguish the features on, but one flies up from the log.
That was me.
Ah, perfect. Thank you so much. Why have you brought us here? Well, no, she said she brought us here because we killed the Redcaps.
Yeah.
We have been terrorized by the Redcaps for a long time. That witch, that hag, she let them go wherever they wanted, but now they are gone, which is a reason to celebrate.
She kind of hovers around you a little bit.
Absolutely. And like she like holds out her hand, a little finger to like kind of like high five the Pitsy.
Yeah, she flies over, she fist bumps your finger.
Hell yeah.
You said that you guys might be able to help us if we followed you.
We have a small amount of pixie magic. We could not fight against the hag ourselves, but if you are powerful adventurers, you may be able to end her hold on this grotto.
That does sound like an appealing course of action, but we barely know anything about her other than so far she's been stronger than us.
She crosses her arms and turns away from you.
Moldy, matty, swamp teeth. Terrible, terrible.
The rest of them kind of echo it.
Terrible, terrible. Evil, ugly.
Agreed.
Is there anything else you could tell us about her?
Only that she is powerful. Great, powerful, scary magic.
If there's anything that you know that she's afraid of or avoids out here?
She stays in the grotto because it is where she has her power. She doesn't leave. She keeps us under her thumb.
So we are in the business of potentially either leaving this plane or, at the very least, ensuring our survival by killing the witch. We'd be more than happy to assist with that if you could provide any healing or any sort of help would be useful. Oh, and then Reyna like pulls out the book that has the writing from the rocks, and she says, and if you could let us know if you recognize the script, letting us understanding that would help as well.
Yes, that is Sylvan, the language of the Fae.
What does it say?
Well, these are mostly just letters jumbled around. They don't really spell anything.
Oh, would one of you be willing to accompany us to where we found them?
Where did you say you found them?
On the other side of the grotto, past the Redcaps, across the water.
And then they kind of gasp and mutter between each other.
The ancient standing stones.
Yes.
That is powerful, powerful ancient magic. Older than the hag.
And then some of them kind of giggle at the idea of something being older than the hag.
That circle may possess magic that could help you fight or perhaps take you away from this place. I suppose I can come with you to help you translate the letters.
Yes, that'd be so helpful.
But
Be very appreciated.
I will have to be careful.
And she turns invisible.
Must not let the hag see me.
Of course.
Neat trick.
It is a neat trick. Well,
But as you're standing there and you're having this conversation, a visage of the hag appears in the tree line.
Oh, what is this?
And all the pixies kind of gasp. And then they dart away into their the little crevices under the toadstools. They all disappear, and the kind of glowing lights around you guys even appear to darken a bit with the appearance of the hag.
Well. It appears there was a whole village of pixies right under my nose. Well, pixie wings are quite potent for spell casting.
She lets out her evil cackle.
Can I draw my bow and aim it at her menacingly?
Oh yeah, go ahead and make a attack check. Or you just want to aim it at her?
Yeah, just aim it at her like a threat almost.
Sure.
Be ready
She's
for a fight.
Smiling at you. She doesn't seem too frightened.
What do you think, Reyna? What are the chances we hit her if we both go in?
I'm not really in any shape to fight, to be honest. So Reyna would personally rather not fight right now. So she's just not gonna respond to Harvey, but she'll watch the hag. What do you intend to do with these pixies?
So she steps a little bit out of the tree line.
Well, as I said, there's quite a lot of magic in pixies. I'm sure I could brew quite a potent potion with their wings or their dust.
They've done nothing to you. You need to back off.
She cackles more.
I'll make you a deal.
A deal?
Mm-hmm. You don't touch these pixies until after we're gone, whether you've eaten us or we've escaped, and you can shorten our sentence to 2 hours.
Oh, I probably won't be coming after them for another day or so anyway. Takes quite a lot of work to hunt down pixies.
Oh, shit. Well...
But if you want to cut it down to 2 hours...
No, we're fine.
She just laughs.
I was
That was my only
wondering.
bargaining chip, and she spat it back in my face.
I was wondering where you went when you disappeared off this way into the forest, away from the swamp.
So you didn't even know your own people were hiding this from you?
My own people?
Aren't you the one who wanted the Redcaps around?
The Redcaps were quite handy servants. I'm sure they didn't know about this village, though.
That's not what it sounded like when we killed them.
They didn't sound like much aside from bloodthirsty little monsters. I'm sure you saw them.
Well, I'm sure if you don't have the intelligence to understand them, you wouldn't have known what they were saying.
Don't talk to me about intelligence, bird brain.
All I'm saying is, lady, is if you were smart, you'd probably go and check and see what else your minions are hiding from you.
They weren't hiding anything. They just couldn't find it themselves.
I'd be real ashamed to employ somebody under my guard that can't even find a village right behind them.
It's quite hidden. I'm not sure if you noticed, but the only reason you know it's here is because a pixie led you straight to it. You might not have noticed it otherwise.
The point I'm getting at is, I've been here for less than a day, lady, and I know more about your backyard. So why don't you just go along, explore, maybe ask a couple other your friends if they have anything they want to tell you, and leave us the hell alone.
We'll see. We'll see. And the visage wanders back into the tree line and disappears.
That could have been bad.
You provoking her didn't help.
You giving us only 2 hours till death really didn't help.
I thought it was a bargaining chip. I apologize.
In any case, these pixies can probably disappear and relocate any time without us.
Well, as you've noticed, Harvey, when you tried to fly up away over the mountains here, that storm was far too powerful for you to fly up into it, and definitely the pixies are much smaller than you, so they would just be swept away by the wind, no problem. And of course it is kind of beset on most sides by mountain here. You entered through the mountain, there was that magical passage that opened up through the mountain and then closed back up.
Yeah. Well, Reyna, we have to decide, do we go to the magic circle and see if we can leave, or do we try to find a plan to defend ourselves and save the pixies?
Let's try and go to the magic circle and see, because the Pitsy said that it could be magic strong enough to help us fight them, and I like the sound of that. And worst case scenario, we could take a long rest there and...
Worst case scenario, you all die. And are eaten.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, besides dying, we could at least take a long rest there, get ready, prepare things, and then go out, guns blazing.
So it's
Sounds good to me.
It's probably been about another hour, so if you could remove one more torch, Harvey, but then you can light another one back up as you turn back through the swamp to the other side.
Okay.
And you guys just want to go straight back across to where the circle is?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
All right, then head on over.
Man, you guys lost both the homunculus and Gran.
I know. Things are not going hot for us. Things are not coming up, whatever our team name is.
No team name for this one. Just Reyna and Harvey. So,
I thought we were Wheels and Wings.
What's that? Wheels and
I
Wings?
thought we were Wheels and Wings.
Sure.
Wings.
That works.
Wheels and the Wingman.
Nice. You can pass back over those red caps, but they're not going to have anything really aside from their red caps, their iron boots, and some sickles, and one of their sickles even was disintegrated by your shatter, so a couple of sickles if you want those. But nothing good for healing, really. You managed to make it back to the other side of the swamp, over near where that large stone circle is.
Okay, I'm going to make my way to the outer edge of the circle.
Certainly.
Yep.
She reappears from her invisibility, and she looks a little pouty.
Are you okay?
The hag knows where my village is.
Yes, that's true.
It's only
a
matter of time.
Yes.
Remember though, Pixie, this circle will either help us kill her, or we can all leave the grotto.
Right. And she's gonna fly around. Well, She reads the various letters on all the different vertical standing stones. These are just letters. Letters up and down the sides. Letters of the Sylvan alphabet. They don't make any words. Not in the order they're in. They're just kind of scattered all around.
Here's an idea. I'm assuming it's like the same A to Z alphabet, right?
But in Sylvan, approximately. Something like that.
Can you touch these letters? And I point out the ones for... Or you know what, actually, can you give me a quick translation of the entire alphabet? And I hold out the book.
Like, you want me to write it down?
Just spell out the word for gate, actually. Like, touch the letters, if you don't mind.
She touches a few of the letters spelling out gate in the Sylvan language, but they don't appear to do anything.
Try weapon.
She touches on another one of the pillars, the letters to spell out weapon. The word for weapon in Sylvan.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Although,
What are you thinking?
She's going to fly and touch a few more letters on the large arch next to the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
And... Reyna,
Mm.
you are going to fall asleep.
Ah, no.
You kind of doze off in your chair there, and Harvey notices this.
Aha!
She says, and dances around in the air a little bit.
What just happened?
That is a spell that I know. I spelled out the magic words for it in Sylvan. And look what it's done.
And she points at Reyna.
Can we wake her up?
Oh, yeah.
And she flies over, and she does a little harmless smack against Reyna's face with her tiny pixie hand, and it wakes Reyna right up.
Reyna!
And she flies around.
Reyna! Hey, listen!
I'm here. Yes.
It was the magic words. Pixies know how to use our magic to cause creatures to fall asleep. All I did was spell out the magic words to cast the sleep spell, and it caused you to fall asleep. You were just barely standing in the circle.
I have an idea then, Pixie. Can you show me how to spell out the magic words for my protection from evil and good?
She looks around, she scans the letters real quick, and then she flies around very quickly from one pillar to the other, touching the different letters, spelling out the verbal component for protection from good and evil. And after a moment, whoosh, the protection from good and evil effect washes over you. You gain that protection for the next 10 minutes.
Did that cost me any of my spell slots?
It did not.
Reyna, I think I have this figured out thanks to our friend here.
Yep.
But I don't think I have anything of value to use it on.
I want to see something.
What would you like to see?
I'm trying to see how, like, artificers learn spells. Because I know, like, wizards have, like, they know a lot of spells, and they just prepare them.
Wizards have a spell book that they have to copy spells into. I don't know how artificers do it. The artificer, you can change your list of prepared spells when you finish a long rest.
Perfect. Okay. So basically, I would know all of those spells in the spell list, right?
Maybe.
But I would just change what I have available.
Let me
Because if
check
so...
that. If you do know all the magic words, that would basically... So I'm going to say here that you do have a lot of background knowledge on the spells from the Artificer spell list, but depending on the one that you want to use here, it's going to require an Arcana check if you don't have it prepared.
Harvey, get out of the circle, please. Okay, so as long as it's within this spell list, and I can remember it, I can cast it, right? Or I can have the Pitsy cast it? Perhaps. Okay. Well, I could definitely get... Okay. I have some ideas, but they're kind of crazy.
Sure.
How long has it been since Gran died? It's been about an hour?
About an hour, yeah.
He's also Ash.
Is he? I don't think we ever decided on whether or not we threw him in the fire.
I do think we left him.
Revivify is only good for a minute.
Yeah.
Damn, I tried. Alright.
You don't have Raise Dead? Oh, you have Revivify as a 3rd level? Oh, that makes sense. It's a 3rd level cleric spell.
I'm just going to be looking through my spell list. Fuck, that's a good one too. I'm going to be looking through the spell list because I want a big... Okay, if we can't blink our way out of here, my plan is to get the biggest fuck-off spell that we could do, lure her into the circle, nice, and just try and, like, light this bitch on fire. But I don't really see any of those spells. What do you think, Harvey?
I think that idea would work if our pixie friend here was willing to die.
Well, it depends on the spell, too.
I can fly pretty quick.
Because it seems like the entirety of the spell affects everything within the circle. Because the sleep spell seemed to get you right away.
Oh, well, I might be able to do that. Alright, get in the circle, Harvey.
I'm blindly trusting you.
Never mind. I thought this would be a healing spell, and it is not.
Getting out of the circle.
Alright. To my credit, I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I'm really just, like, railroading this.
How do you
But
mean?
that's what I get for being the only spellcaster.
I could put up a couple of defenses, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think what we should do is probably rest up for the night and try and come up with something.
Do you know any spells that'll obscure our vision? We can rest inside the circle.
I don't have anything prepared.
Okay, then. I don't have anything either.
Can I try for this spell called Big B's Hand?
Let me see. What level is that?
It is a 5th level spell. It's good for up to a minute. If not, the other one that I want to try is Summon Construct.
That seems like a useful one.
Yeah, so with Big B's Hand, I would basically get this big fuck-off hand that we could use to, like, crush her. And it would also have, like, it has its own hit points and stuff that... Oh, you know what? I could use the Summon Construct to watch over us. It's good for at least the first hour. But if I don't get Big B's Hand, then Summon Construct is the backup. And if I can't get any of those, then we just gotta kind of rely on what we've got and hope we make it. If I could do both, that'd be super quick. That'd be super cool. Because then we could have 2 more allies, basically, to help us fight her.
And that would be ideal because it seems like that's our only option, right? Is the fight in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess I'm ready for it if you are.
Well, I think I have to make those rolls unless Luke is cool with me just using the one I had.
So, Bigby's Hand, you said? And what else?
Big B's Hand, Summon Construct, and let's do Mordekainen's Faithful Hound. Just to see if, you know.
Go ahead and roll a Arcana check for Bigby's Hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ooh, that's an 11.
You're not quite going to be able to remember the components for Bigby's Hand without having it prepared.
Okay.
What was the second one? Summon Construct?
22.
Alright, you will be able to remember the verbal component for that.
Alright. And can I try one more? Or is that as much as I can try?
Yeah, what was the last one? Faithful Hound?
Yep.
You can try and remember that one.
That one's a 14.
Yeah, you're just barely going to be able to remember the words for that one.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and cast that one right now. So that way we have a watchdog. So
the pixie flies around and she tries to hit all the letters for the verbal components of Mordekainen's Faithful Hound. But after she does so, the spell does not seem to come to effect.
No! God damn.
That's okay, I have an idea. Pixie, what other spells do you know besides sleep?
Well, fly. That's a popular one. With non-pixies. Dancing light. Dispel magic. Polymorph.
I'm not much on spellcasting, Reyna. Do any of those sound useful for our situation?
Polymorph, probably. If we could lure her into the circle and then perform a polymorph spell on her, we could potentially get her to be a little bit easier to take down. A frog is much easier to kill than a witch.
So, Pixie, how fast would you be able to input that spell?
I should be able to do it in under 6 seconds.
So we'd have to keep her there for one turn.
Will we be able to get out if, say, I'm inside there and try to fly away last second?
Oh, yeah.
That might be the play.
If we time it right. Although that one spell didn't work.
Is polymorph lethal?
No.
Can I come back from it?
I wouldn't know how.
Do you guys feel like looking for that satyr?
So rude.
He said he wanted something interesting to happen.
Satyr. Oh, Satyr.